Have you ever stood next to a dog so large it made you question everything you thought you knew about what a dog could be? Most people see a giant breed and assume the same things: powerful, dominant, built for strength. The biggest must be the toughest. The heaviest must be the strongest. We were wrong about almost all of it, because the story of how certain dogs became giants is stranger than most people expect. And what that size actually does to them, what it costs them, what it means for how long they live, is something the world's largest dogs can never tell you themselves, but the science can. The first thing most people get wrong about giant breeds is where they came from. The assumption is that large dogs evolved this way naturally, that somewhere in history, bigger meant better, and the biggest dogs simply survived while smaller ones did not. But that is not what happened. Giant breeds did not emerge from natural selection. They were built deliberately by humans over centuries for specific purposes that had nothing to do with being impressive. The Irish Wolfhound was bred to hunt wolves and elk across open terrain. The Saint Bernard was developed to locate and rescue travelers buried in alpine snow. Every giant breed carries a specific history, a specific job, a specific reason that size became necessary. But once those jobs disappeared, something was left behind that nobody fully anticipated. The moment humans saw how large certain dogs could grow, the myths began. The biggest dogs must be the most aggressive. The heaviest must dominate other animals. Giants must be guard dogs by nature, built to intimidate, born with temperaments that match their size. Almost none of that is true. Researchers studying canine temperament across breeds found that the largest breeds consistently score among the lowest for aggression toward humans. The Great Dane, one of the tallest dogs on Earth, is routinely described by behavioral scientists as among the most gentle and socially compliant of all breeds. The Saint Bernard, capable of pulling hundreds of kilograms, was specifically selected over generations for the opposite of aggression. A dog that panicked or threatened an injured, hypothermic mountain rescue victim would have been useless. Calmness was the trait that survived. And the assumption that the world's largest dogs are the heaviest or the strongest does not hold up either. The Great Dane holds records for height, but the Saint Bernard and the Mastiff regularly outweigh it by a significant margin. A male English Mastiff can exceed 100 kilograms. A Great Dane rarely approaches that. Tallest is not heaviest. Heaviest is not strongest. And none of those things mean what most people assume they mean. Here is the part of the giant breed story that almost never gets told. Size is never free. Every kilogram of additional mass places additional demand on a body. The heart works harder. The joints carry more load. The skeleton bears stress that it was never fully optimized to handle, because evolution never had enough time to refine a body this large. The Great Dane has an average lifespan of 6 to 8 years. The Irish Wolfhound, 7 at most. The Saint Bernard, 8 to 10 if healthy. Compare that to a Border Collie at 15 years, a miniature Dachshund at 16. The largest dogs on Earth live, on average, less than half as long as the smallest. Researchers studying the relationship between body size and lifespan in dogs found something that surprised even biologists. In almost every other species on the planet, larger animals live longer. Elephants outlive mice. Whales outlive dolphins. Size in nature generally buys time. In dogs, it works in reverse. The leading theory is that the extreme selective pressure humans applied to create giant breeds happened too fast. The internal architecture, the cardiovascular system, the cellular aging process, never had time to adapt to carrying that much body. Giant breeds do not age slowly. They age fast. Their bodies work harder from the first day, and they wear out sooner because of it. There is something quietly extraordinary about what giant breeds represent. Every one of them was built for a world that no longer exists. The Irish Wolfhound was created for a landscape where wolves roamed Ireland in numbers large enough to threaten livestock and human safety. The last wolf in Ireland was killed in the 18th century. The Wolfhound remained. The St. Bernard was shaped by the specific conditions of the Great St. Bernard Pass, a mountain crossing in the Swiss Alps where monks maintained a hospice for travelers. The breed spent centuries being refined for that single, specific environment. When mountain travel changed, the dog remained. The Tibetan Mastiff guarded remote Himalayan monasteries and nomadic camps against wolves and leopards for thousands of years. That world still exists, but barely. These dogs carry in their bodies the memory of a purpose they will never serve again. And yet, here they are. In apartments, in suburbs, in city parks where the biggest threat they will ever face is a squirrel on the other side of a fence. The gap between what they were built for and what they actually live is one of the strangest things about them. Here is what the science keeps returning to about the world's largest dogs. They were not built for aggression. They were not built to dominate. They were built to do difficult, specific, physical jobs in demanding environments. And to do those jobs, they needed something more than size. Generation by generation, the giant breeds were shaped toward a temperament that matched their role. Calm, patient, steady. Loyal beyond what most smaller breeds are capable of. Researchers studying oxytocin responses in giant breeds found that their bonding chemistry with humans is not diminished by their size. If anything, the breeds developed specifically for close human cooperation show some of the strongest attachment behaviors measured in any domestic dog. The world's largest dogs are not giants in spite of their gentleness. They are gentle because of what it took to make them giants. We were wrong about the world's largest dogs. We looked at the size and assumed we understood what it meant. Power, dominance, strength without cost. But now you know what is actually there. Animals built by human hands for a specific moment in history, carrying the physical consequences of that in every joint, every heartbeat, every shortened year. Giants shaped not by nature, but by need. And alongside that size, something nobody talks about enough. A gentleness that was never accidental. A patience that took centuries to build. A temperament that makes them, despite everything their bodies carry, among the most quietly devoted animals on Earth. The largest dogs in the world are not what they look like from a distance. They never were.